Bruce Balmer from Total Fluency Limited, an accelerated language learning company. And today we're on video 4 of the 7 things that you should do before starting learning a language to maximize your chances of success. And today we'll be talking about choosing your curriculum wisely. Now, the purpose of a good curriculum is to provide 3 things. Focus. You don't need to know all the words a native speaker knows in order to reach discursive conversation. For example, only about 1 in 10. So a good curriculum will help you focus in on the words that are going to be most valuable to you. Secondly, sequence. They're going to teach you the language in a sensible order that helps you learn it and helps you get the most value the soonest possible. But 3, and this is really important, it's going to give you a coordinated, complete plan for getting from A to B. There's a 4th aspect of curricula that I think is very important, but I don't see it talked about very much, which is it should be helping you to maintain your enthusiasm. So we can divide curricula into 4 major types: the grammatical, conversational, ad hoc, and personalized. The second most frequent reason I hear people quitting is that they wanted to learn to speak a language and they end up becoming a grammarian of the language. About 10% of people enjoy learning a language grammatically. For everybody else, I would recommend against this approach. Often an excess of grammar precedes the loss of enthusiasm that causes people to quit. There are communication-based curricula, but they're very hard to find in comparison to the other group. Pimsleur and Michelle Thomas are 2 names you could look up. There's an ad hoc approach where people say, I'm going to assemble my own program from free videos on the internet. Now, a lot of those videos are really good. There's a lot of great teaching on the internet. The problem with assembling an ad hoc curriculum is it's not a coordinated plan, and in the end, people always end up trading time for money. You can save some money, but you cost yourself a lot of time. And in the end, you lose the confidence of following a program and knowing that you're going to go from A to B. As I've said before, this is an opinionated series. Here is my recommendation. Get yourself a good grammar book. There's thousands of them. It doesn't really matter much. Personally, if you want a recommendation, I like the Hugo's in 3 months series. Very clear, very thorough. What's wrong with those books, in my opinion, is the complete excess of grammar. By the time you finish the book, you will know almost 100% of the grammar of the language, and you will know maybe a 5th or a 10th of the words that you might want to know in terms of speaking the language. What you do is, between every lesson, add additional vocabulary to bring the whole matter back into proportion. Which proportion? Whatever proportion makes you happy, whatever maintains your enthusiasm for the language. The advantages of doing this are: 1, you can alter the percentage between vocabulary and grammar. 2, you can change the sequence. You don't have to learn things in the order they're stated in a book. You might think they've picked a great sequence. My experience, the sequences tend to be okay. To a certain point they make sense. They're not brilliant. Feel free to change the sequence and move things about a little bit. And thirdly, really defer some of the more pointless stuff they talk about till much later, and judge your progress on your ability to communicate, to speak, to read, to understand the language. Don't worry about knowing how to say everything correctly. When you started a language, you were thinking about communicating and listening. Maintain that view while you go through the program. Or, of course, you could always become a client of ours and have a really sensible approach to language. Okay, that's it for choosing your curriculum wisely. Those are my recommendations. Remember, subscribing to the channel is always an option. I'll see you tomorrow to talk about tracking.